Heart's beating, and we're back.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. We did it. We're here today.
Guys, we've had personally me, but kind of, I think that because Aaron and I live together, our energies just really rub off on each other. And I want to say, first of all, I'm going to put on my glasses. Because
She can't see you right now.
headaches are just not in anymore. And I haven't drank enough water to go contactless today. Anyway, where's my water bottle?
It's on the floor.
Thank you. I've had a really low, difficult week. And I think that because we live together, our energies influence one another. But also Aaron has had a very hectic week work-wise. And so I think that sometimes when we're both stressed out, we don't process it the same way. And it just makes life extra hard. It makes it hard to comfort each other. But I have noticed, like, in the moments where I've been really upset, or, you know, I've upset you because our energies are just not vibing, you really have been there for me, and I just want to thank you for that.
You're welcome.
It has
I
been
thought
a
this
really
was your
hard
name.
week. No, it's there. Yeah. I am on my period right now. I know that I share my hormonal journey with you all. So I'm just going to talk about it here because I think that it's important, and for the 10% of listeners that are female out there.
I think it's less than that now, but that's okay.
Really?
10% is a lot for YouTube.
You guys, girlies, get on this channel, okay? Because I really need your support.
It's mostly people.
Don't show your toe.
That's what
My
they want.
toes?
You don't. You have beautiful.
That's not why people watch this.
I know.
Anyway, I went to this doctor, as you all know, that I went to this hormone doctor. And I'm a bit nervous about it because the doctor doesn't take insurance. She doesn't deal with insurance. So I have to file that myself, which I actually need to do. But I'm going to her in the desperate attempt to fix my hormones since I've been on birth control for so long. And I do believe it's fucked with my body. But when I told my OBGYN that, she basically gaslit me and told me that I was insane. So
OBGYN, if you are out there, I hope your practice. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I don't want to be implicated by the law.
let's just say that she was not very nice to me. And I don't think that any doctor should speak that way to their patient.
I hope your practice burns to the
But
ground.
anyway,
And no one gets hurt.
if you've been following along, you know that that's why I'm seeing this doctor, because I've had a lot of bodily reactions to different types of
Bodily?
I don't know, bad reactions to different types of birth control, and I'm kind of sick of it. I'm on the low estrogen one right now. It's a pill. I still feel bloated every single day. Anyway, all of that to say that my period this week, my PMS was probably the worst that it's been in a really long time. I felt completely depressed. At first I can pretty much eat everything and anything right now, but I also feel nauseous at the same time. And I just feel really emotionally unstable and really exhausted and really frustrated because I think that I just get upset that every single month for the rest of my life may be like this.
Not for the rest of it.
Well, until you hit menopause.
Yeah.
So I'm just feeling a little doomsday, and I think that I've been putting off the podcast because I'm trying to keep up positive energy.
We'll play some failed attempts from earlier this week. We tried to do an outdoor one. I saw that was heavily requested by some viewers, and it's in the works. We tried. Didn't work out this time, but you'll see. We got something in the kitchen cooking, and it's fresh coming. Yeah.
You're feeling off today too, clearly.
No, I'm not feeling like off. I'm okay. I just like there's like a lot to be done, you know? You know that feeling when there's a lot to be done and you feel like not motivated to do any of it?
Yeah.
But also, like, if you don't
Please stop touching the
get it
thing.
done, you'll be fired.
Yeah.
So you have to do it.
I'm at the point in my life where
Have you felt that way before? Come on.
have I felt like I'm gonna get fired if I don't do
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have.
What would constitute that for you?
Not cleaning enough.
Mm.
My job is not as taxing as yours, and you've made
I would
that very
argue it's
clear.
far more taxing.
No.
Like, it's not even close to the level of taxing. Like, when you leave in the morning at the wee early hours of the
I
day.
leave at 6 a.m. I canceled my 5 a.m. shift because I couldn't do it anymore, you guys. It was ruining my entire week. I don't know how those gym bros get up at 5 a.m. every single morning and they go out there and live their lives, or maybe even 4:30, and
How
then
do
they
the
get to the
boys
gym.
do it?
I don't know.
If you're out there,
They probably go to bed at 9, and they probably don't.
Do they go to bed at
They
9?
probably don't need
Because they're crushing, you know what, at 9.
the gym.
Supposedly. Like, what's Mark Wahlberg's schedule? Like, 4 a.m., he's up and at it. He's praying. He prays for an hour every morning. He's up at 4 a.m., prays, then he hits the gym, then he's got meetings straight away in the day. He don't nap. He just go.
You know what? Honestly, this is maybe a
Also, someone who hasn't been canceled is Mark Wahlberg all of a sudden. How is
he
that?
not?
No,
Isn't
he's
he just,
totally
like,
fine.
Isn't he just like averagely looked at as like an ick?
No, he's like totally fine.
What
Like,
has
he does
done?
like those cop movies.
What has he
And
done?
he does like in terms of like career wise,
No, in terms of cancellations.
he like almost killed like a Filipino cab driver.
You almost said Vietnamese.
I couldn't. You're trying to get me in trouble now. This is about Mark. This is not about me. But he like nearly beat him to death when he was a young man. He's racist.
Oh, yeah, he looks like a
It was
racist.
a hate. It was like
So
it was
he's
like
he's a hate
actually-
crimer.
It was like actually a hate crime where like there is like the transcript and he's like saying things like you can
Did he go to
never
jail?
say. No, because he was like,
Mark Wahlberg.
yeah, I don't know if
And
he was
people don't
very famous at the time, but
prosecute racism.
he didn't go. I mean, incidentally, you should go to jail for a long. I mean, the guy was like sent to the hospital. Anyway, not
Did
to
he
make
live?
this like a
Is
mark.
he okay?
I don't know if he's okay, but I know he's alive. Like, yeah, I don't know how he's. And he like literally presented like best film to Everything Everywhere All at Once, and like none of them clapped for him. Like, why would they
Mark
have
Wahlberg did?
presented at like SAG Awards or something? One of them.
They must have known.
Why would they do that?
Because the Oscars choose racism every time.
Like, but as far as like drama goes, like one of like the dramatic things the Oscars did was like giving an honorary lifetime achievement to like Elia Kazan, who did like On the Waterfront, like all those old classic like Brando movies.
Right.
And he famously during the blacklist fucking named names of communists who were blacklisted in Hollywood. He named the names of like his friends and they got sent
Which
to fucking
names?
jail. I don't know.
Arthur
I
Miller.
don't know these people. No, but Arthur Miller, this is actually, you bring up a thing. I believe it was A View from a Bridge. And
My favorite Arthur Miller play.
Elia Kazan read it. And he said, Arthur, like, I'm just writing to you because I was really touched and moved by your play. And I would be honored to direct it. And the line is so good, but Arthur Miller like doesn't respond to.
This is after the Red Scare.
Yeah, this is after all of that. This is after all of that.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, that period of time.
Yeah, because there were two periods when there was like.
Hello. You can see that I had a little bit of a kerfuffle, unable to remember what the letter was. So I just wanted to review it here. First of all, unbeknownst to me, it was actually Arthur Miller and Elia Kazan were best friends. You can see this when Elia Kazan directed Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman. It's upside down. He directed Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman, notably his most famous play of all time. He would later have a long-lasting relationship with Elia Kazan until Elia Kazan named Arthur Miller as one of the people in the Red Scare when he was called to testify before Congress. Arthur Miller was also called to testify but declined. This obviously had a big strain on his friendship, and I believe I said it was The Crucible, but The Crucible, I'm looking at Sofia now, was actually what he wrote in response to his relationship deteriorating with Elia.
Oh yeah, I knew The Crucible was about the Red Scare.
Yeah. So he wrote this soon after his name was named and after his relationship with Elia was destroyed. For good. And then in 1955, when Miller writes A View from the Bridge, he sends a copy to his old friend Elia without a single message. Elia responds saying, "Arthur, it would be my greatest honor to direct this play." Elia responds, Miller responds, "You don't understand. I'm not sending this to you because I want you to direct it. I'm sending this to you so you know what I think of stool pigeons." Because Elia was, of course, a no-good informant stool pigeon. Just wanted to correct that fact. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
How sexy is that? Oh my god, my face. How sexy is that?
Elia Kazan was given a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Academy Awards, like later in his life. And obviously it was like a big source of scandal. Like people were really pissed and protested. And like when you watch the awards back, you see like people don't stand, you see people don't clap, you see people just like still when he comes on stage.
Wow. But he came on stage? He was live?
Yeah, he received it.
Wow.
So it was like a huge deal because he had been like kind of iced, especially in his later years, because I mean he was just like, that's like a bad thing to do.
That honestly makes me sadder that he received the award.
Sad for who?
Just everyone involved.
Yeah, I mean like his peers, not peers, but like the people in the audience, like conceivably had relationships.
It's just
with
like, and then he's like just this old sad man that no one's clapping for.
Right. I mean, some people did clap.
Not that I feel sorry for him, but it's just like, just don't give him the award because I feel like it's more
don't give
embarrassing
him the
than
award.
getting the award.
Oh, it's so embarrassing. It's like
that whole situation just makes me sad.
Yeah, but who gave him the award and kissed him on the cheek?
Marky Mark.
Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro. Which is interesting. It's just interesting. I don't know, because I feel like Scorsese is...
Because Robert De Niro is now a father at 81 to a newborn baby.
Less so about...
I just wanted to comment on that because like that's crazy, and apparently he gave a speech about it and started crying.
Wait, really? About being a newborn, about a new papa?
Well, because
why do you cry? That's embarrassing.
Because by the time his child is 10, he'll be 90.
Yeah.
What do you mean that's embarrassing?
That he cried.
Well, because he's not going to experience his child's life, really.
Why do you do that then?
Because he wanted a baby.
Come on. There are some funny... De Niro, he was just like... I think he's being sued by his assistant for being a mean guy.
I mean, I think that most people are mean in Hollywood.
Like, who ain't mean these days?
I mean...
David Krumholtz, who's in Oppenheimer, he does like a lot of those like smaller roles. He was in Leopoldstadt, but he told a story about De Niro when he was like young. He was like in his mid-20s and he got like his first, not his break, but he got like one of his first roles. And he was meeting with the like director.
Wait, wasn't he he auditioned for The Godfather but didn't get it and then got the second one?
De Niro did, yeah.
And was that his breakout role, the second Godfather?
I think he had already done Mean Streets. Mean Streets was his breakout with Scorsese.
How old was he?
I have no idea.
that I literally don't know. He wasn't like young. I don't have more insight than that, my friend. Before Elia and before Marky Mark, because the situation.
You are gonna turn the brightness down, right? Because I think that
Yeah,
your camera
I
skills
am.
have been a little weak lately.
I am gonna turn the brightness down. Yeah, care to share?
No, I'm just upset right now.
Why?
Because my tummy hurts and I don't have a cookie.
We'll get you a cookie.
And because also you just joke about things and then you gossip about Hollywood stars like I'm not going to be nominated for an Oscar one day.
I love how you were like PRing this right now. Like you're trying to dugga.
Of course this is PR.
Would you have stood for Will Smith?
What?
It's open-ended. I don't know. Nothing to say.
Would I have stood for Will Smith?
Would you have stood for Elia?
I probably would have no idea who the fuck Elia was.
At that time, you think you wouldn't have known Elia?
I don't think I would have been like, that guy blacklisted a ton of communists. Like, I don't think I would have known that, which is my own ignorance.
I think
I
you
know
would have
that
known, bro.
You don't think I didn't know that until you mentioned that?
Okay, but at the time, if you were at that Oscar ceremony, you would have definitely known, dude.
Well, maybe if I was at this ceremony, but I'm not because I'm not even booking an audition. And I have to redo one where my face looked like I was wrinkled and old.
You didn't look wrinkled.
I did look wrinkled because of your lighting skills, which is don't touch her. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want to be touched by you.
You don't think so?
Neither do I.
We gotta bring that into this.
I'm actually kidding about that part for right now.
For right now. Yeah, all to say, Elia, R.I.P., although kind of a sus guy you are. And I guess Mark Wahlberg can just work like it's nobody's business. Who's his PR team? We got to look into that.
I want his PR team.
Yeah. Seriously, don't we all?
Yeah. Stop touching her.
Why don't you want me to do that?
Because I need you to fix yourself before you come here.
What do I need to fix?
Everything.
What is like a problem for you here?
Your shorts are too tight and you roll them up too far.
They're not rolled up. I'm just sitting down.
It looks like you're wearing tighty whities.
I'm not.
I just need my space right now.
You love it.
No, to be honest right now, I'm upset. And
do you think I've kind of derailed things? I've kind of taken them over?
Yes.
Okay. So let's reset. Rewind. Let's all hold hands.
No.
Triangle. Come on. Let's all hold hands. Hold her hand and then hold my hand with your other hand. We have to do this as a family. Oh. Close your eyes.
She doesn't want me to hold her hand.
Yeah, she just wants me to hold her hand. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow. That's beautiful. Do you feel less mad at me now?
No.
You don't feel a little more centered in your body?
I feel better because the cat's paw was in my hands.
I feel pretty good about that. What made you bring up Marilyn Monroe's affair with Arthur?
Because you were talking about both Arthur and Kennedy, because we were talking about the Red Scare.
That's fair.
Which, okay. Spoiler alert, we've been doing a lot of research on JFK and his assassination.
Because we want to get to the bottom of it.
Because we do want to get to the bottom of it, but Aaron and I just have such differing opinions, and there's so much information out there about it.
What do you mean a differing opinion?
I mean, I think you think that Oswald was just a lone shooter. So you agree with the Warren Commission. So you just basically agree with the government completely.
I don't agree with the government.
Like a blind bat.
I don't agree with the government
completely.
You do.
You think it was just one person.
Because I don't think it's a conspiracy.
So you believe the single shooter argument. You think there was only just one bullet? You believe the magic bullet. You believe the magic bullet.
I knew you were going to bring the bullet into
this,
bro.
Oh my God.
I knew you were going to bring
There's
the bullet
no fucking way that you believe the magic bullet.
I knew you were going to bring the bullet into this. You think someone was on the grassy knolls?
Yeah.
You think
I actually think about in the past 3 days, if I think of the word grassy knoll, chills
Chills
such
down
on my
your spine?
spine. That's why last night when we were walking from Sophia's house back
You
to
were a
our
little
house,
nervous.
I was like, fuck the grassy knoll, like, because I don't know, like I've always, trigger warning, I've always imagined like mass shootings being from high buildings. Like I've always prepped myself for that fear,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't imagined it from a grassy knoll. And for some reason that's even more disturbing to me because
That's really disturbing.
because it's like I imagine sunlight. I do think that there were several shooters.
How many?
2 at least.
You would love the JFK move, the Roger Stone.
I don't
JFK
believe
movie.
the sewage thing.
I don't know the sewage thing. What's that? There was one from the sewage.
There was one from the sewage, according to so the podcast that you sent me. Did you not listen to it?
I listened to part 2, not part 1.
No, you listened to part 1, not part
I listened to part 1, not part 2.
Right.
I didn't know there was a part 2. I didn't look into it enough.
Okay, well, the part 2 kind of lists the different conspiracies, and which honestly, a lot of people wanted to kill JFK.
Yeah.
So
like a lot. It was a crazy time. Civil rights and all.
I think just actually the book I read didn't mention civil rights.
I know whose side they're on.
What?
I don't know. Continue?
You've been saying a lot of crazy things today. You okay?
No, I'm not. We've been over this. I'm not okay.
Why?
It's okay. We'll get to it later.
Okay. Your thighs are so open.
I'm sorry. I won't wear these pants again. It was a mistake.
They're
I'll just blur out.
So
I
I
will
don't know
blur
why.
out
I'm
this
just like a
section
wave of nausea is coming over me.
when you look at me. This is in response to looking at me.
No.
Yeah, you're looking at me and you feel nauseous.
I love you too. It's just like it's like the same
Two?
way.
What do you mean 2? I didn't like the way you said that.
I feel the way that I feel about food about you right now. Like I love
What does
it.
that
I
mean?
want it. I want to eat it. I want to consume it. I want to be with it. But I also feel nauseous when I look at it.
That's weird.
Well, that's just how my hormones are right now, Aaron. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
And, for the 5% of women that are out there watching this, just know that I really value you.
Okay. Why are you looking at the camera? So.
Yeah, so you don't believe the theory that you believe in the magic bullet theory. Wow.
Yeah, I do.
Really, why?
Here's why.
You don't believe that there were so many eyewitnesses that said that there was someone on the grassy knoll.
They heard sounds coming from the grass.
No, they saw people. And there was a guy on a high tower that was watching the event. And he was like a guardsman or whatever.
Yeah.
And he saw a puff of smoke on the grassy knoll.
Right.
And there were several reports of seeing like two men. And there were several gunmen. There were a lot of people that reported several shooters.
There were a lot of different stories on people. Okay, so what is...
So you think...
What is
let me just say this real quick, because I feel like you've been gaslighting me all week about this. So let me gaslight you now.
Okay.
So my thing...
What do you mean gaslight? Anyway.
I don't know what I'm saying.
That was a gaslight. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm an idiot. You're right. I
No,
can't
continue.
even speak Spanish anymore.
No.
Or act. My 2 things that I like to do.
Okay.
I want to say my favorite things. Acting is for sure. Spanish.
Okay, back to the theory.
The theory. I'm just... So what you believe... Let me just get this straight.
Yeah, get it straight.
You believe that Oswald was a nut.
Yes.
He decided he was super pro-communist, and because of that, he decided to kill JFK.
Not because he was a communist.
Oh, why do you think he did it? Just because he's crazy?
He was obviously, very unstable, and there were a lot of things going on at the time that would have... I think that what the assassination of JFK is a failure of intelligence and a failure of the FBI. I think the reason why... Look, the Warren Commission and a lot of the investigations of Kennedy, I think, were done to cover up a failure of intelligence because it could have been stopped.
You believe the Warren Commission?
I don't know. It's hard for me to believe.
No, you believe that Oswald was just up in the thing. He shot him
in the book depository.
In the book depository.
Which is awesome, by the way. That it happened in a book depository.
I know.
The fuck does that even mean? They just transferring books in there? Like, what's the deal with that? It's like, he's in the 6th floor of a book depository. It's crazy,
It
man.
sounds like Clue when you read about it. 'Cause like, and then there
In
was
the
a
book-
shooter from
in
the
the book
Grassy knoll.
depository.
Or was it the
It's
Grassy
crazy.
knoll? With the shotgun, or was it the book depository? Sorry.
It's true, though.
Not to laugh at Jackie's pain.
Yeah, true. Jackie. Do you know that, like, right after JFK died, what she did do, she, like, had his, like, brain on him. And
On her.
Sorry.
Yeah, she climbed to the back of the car to pick it up.
And she gave it to the doctors.
I know. And
Yeah.
then it wasn't in the what is that called after someone dies?
The autopsy?
It wasn't in the autopsy or the photos. They withheld the brain.
Right. They gave it to the guy who was trying to resuscitate Kennedy and was like, "Do you need this?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, that's pretty important, that part."
No, but there was a lot of missing information from his autopsy.
Sure. So, you're stopping me.
I don't think Oswald was just a lone nut.
I do. Why?
There's so many different reasons.
I know, and I understand that there's a multitude.
Because he had a lot of connections, first of all, with the military.
Yeah.
Second of all,
But there are a lot of wars going on.
I don't know, Aaron. He also seemed to have a lot of connections with people who were like very right-wing Cubans.
Look, I think it's like there are a lot of sexy connections, okay? The connections are pretty sexy, I gotta say.
We have to talk about them because they're sexy.
Yeah, they're real sexy.
But you just think he was a lone nut?
Okay. I think, and this is part
You
of an
don't think
example.
that the mafia was going to kill him?
Look, I think that there are a lot of crazy things that were happening in that period of
They
time.
also had planned to kill Castro.
Yeah, they did.
And there were several assassination attempts.
Exactly.
So
The
you
exploding
don't-
cigarette, they...
Look, I don't think...
But here's the thing. We know about all those things. For a fact, we know that the FBI
But we
made
don't
several
know about Kennedy's
attempts
death.
to kill Castro.
But-
we know that for a fact that there were theories and there were actual official like hits put out that the FBI consulted with the mob on how to kill Castro. We know that those things happen. Like there's documentation that these things happen. There's documentation of like they
But
wanted.
there's not correct documentation of Kennedy's death.
So they redacted things, right? And a lot of people are wondering, why has documentation about Kennedy's death been redacted from...
Assassination Commission that was put out
Right.
years later believes the two-shooter theory.
They do?
Yes. Clearly you didn't listen to the podcast all the way through. They believe the two-shooter theory.
So why? I guess where's... Because, look.
It doesn't make sense.
This...
His head exploded in that. I'm so sorry to use such graphic language on this podcast.
So, let's break down the single bullet, for
Okay.
example. So, the issue is the bullet comes
There were
from
also
the back of... Well, let's
okay.
go into this. That the bullet is shot, goes into the back of Kennedy's neck, comes through the throat, right? Which is when he, you see in, I think it's like frame, 200 or something like that. Frame 200 of the film, because there was one guy who's filming it, and it's the one everyone looks at, shoots Kennedy. We see a shot come through the back of the neck, through the throat, and it hits the governor as well, right? So it goes through like 15 layers of clothing, goes through Kennedy's
comes out
body,
completely undamaged.
and they find it, like the paramedics find it, and the bullet is fine. So that's crazy, right? And when I think it was like, there were a lot of people who did like 3D models and studies on the trajectory of the bullet, and the idea is where Kennedy was sitting, where the governor was sitting, the governor of Texas, it doesn't line up, right? That the track of the bullet, the way it fires
it
out,
blew his head like that and was still intact and went through two bodies.
well, that wasn't the bullet they're talking about. They're talking about the the rubber bullet, or not the rubber bullet, the magic bullet is Kennedy's throat to the wrist to like the thigh.
Okay. So there was 2 bullets.
So that's the thing. Then that's where the controversy stems from. The reason why people think there are multiple shooters is because there's no way someone could reload the gun within, because they show it's within like 5 frames. There's no way someone could load the rifle that Oswald used twice in that period of time. Like, it's actually literally impossible.
So then what do
So
you
the
think?
only theory, the only way, literally the only way it's possible for there to have only been one gunman is if the single bullet is real. That's the only way. Otherwise, it would have had to have been 2 people or more than one gun.
Okay, so no doubt in my mind that it was 2 people then. Because did you see the damage to his head? His brain fell backwards.
It's crazy, dude.
Backwards, not forward.
Boom, boom. Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense that the bullet would go through his body into another person and then his head, half of his... Did you see? Also, the autopsy pictures were totally messed with. And the person who did the autopsy was like not a professional.
What?
Yeah.
I
He
don't know
was
what
there
that
was a
means.
word, it was like a pathologist or something that did it. Which is
Pathologist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And so there were a lot of things. I think the body was illegally taken to Washington before it was fully looked at.
I guess so. Then what's the only thing is,
Look,
so then what's
here's,
the story?
here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm going to say, okay? I think that there are too many theories because there's not enough information that is open to the public.
So, and I think that the only theory that I can live with is the one that is most supported. And while I think that
but
there
it's
were,
not most supported.
but I don't see any like real path other than that makes any
But
amount of
there were
sense.
so
And
many
tying it back-
eyewitnesses that said they saw multiple people.
Okay.
And
so let's
also-
break that down for a second. Once things were shot, people looked at the grassy knolls, and you actually see video of police running there first because they think that a shot came from there. So that's true.
Also, it wouldn't have made sense for Oswald to have ended up in the movie theater at that time. He would have needed driving transportation because there was another attack on a policeman died that day as well, who was also shot by Oswald.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't have made sense in that time for him to get there on foot.
I don't know this exactly. I watched a video on how it could have been possible for him to do that, though. I'll have to link that.
How?
I'm literally
He's a track
forgetting.
star. He's a runner. He's a track star.
He could be a runner. He's a track star. It wasn't that. It had to do with the maneuvering. I don't know. I've read about that though. This is like a long time ago. I actually didn't read that beforehand. But all to say, look, I think there
were too many things about Oswald that were sus for him to just be a nut.
Well,
I think he was too involved in the government for him to be just a nut.
I don't know if he was necessarily too involved with the government. I think that he was like an incredibly disturbed person too. I think it's like, again, super sexy to think about.
I'm not just talking about sexy. I don't think it makes sense that it was one bullet. That his head. Do you know what happened to his head?
I know what happened to his head, bro. I saw the video. Did you see the video?
I refuse to watch that. I couldn't even look at the autopsy photos.
Okay. When it comes to like conspiracy theories.
But I don't think that this is even a conspiracy theory. I think there's literally not enough information that is
So
being
I think that
released.
there is dishonesty about the way that information has been withheld from the public. I think that is absolutely true because there has been a massive failure of intelligence. like similarly,
So let me say this, because I think that this is the only theory that you might buy into.
the fucking
I kind of
pointing,
disagree
dude.
with it, but I think it's another sexy theory.
Okay.
On the podcast that you sent me,
Right.
this is the only place that I read this theory
Okay.
or listened to this theory. There's this idea that someone on the grassy knoll was a security guard and was shooting in response and accidentally shot the second bullet.
I've never heard that, so I don't know.
You sent me the podcast.
I didn't listen to that episode.
Okay.
To the other one.
I don't think that it was just a lone nut.
I think
I don't.
Did you know that this wasn't his first assassination?
Yes. He killed someone next door to him.
He tried to.
Yeah, he tried to.
Edwin Allen.
Yes. But
Do
there
you
was
know
also
Edwin-
reports of 2 people being there.
So, do you know who Edwin Allen is?
Who?
When he tried to kill Edwin Allen?
That's the... he was like a police officer or something?
No, this is a Mississippi guy.
I don't remember.
So, Mississippi, they were having like the great big, like it was an all-white school. It was an all-white college. And there was a black student who wanted to go to the school, and there was like a whole big problem with, it was a whole big thing. But it was kind of being charged as like the speaker for like no segregation was Edwin Allen, and he was like a politician, like a really horrible person, and he was like one of the the aggressors of the whole situation. Like, it got really divisive for a lot of reasons because of him. And he was in his house one day in, I believe it's Dallas. I don't know. I could be wrong. But
I want to say this was like a few days. This was a little bit before, right?
yeah, not a little bit. It was like a couple months prior.
Okay.
And he's in his home, and there's a shot fired.
Yes, I remember this.
And it was later found that it was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
Who had shot the gun, and it was the same rifle that he used to kill Kennedy. So, all to say, he was kind of like an unstable dude, and he had sent a letter to the FBI not famously, like kind of infamously, and this is why I think that there was like this other, like, why I'm almost more inclined to believe the idea that he was acting alone was, the FBI had been kind of following Oswald, and they had been following his wife.
And I guess that would say why they've deleted all files on him.
Right, and the letter that he sent, which was, if you don't leave my wife alone, I'm going to blow up and burn down the whole office. He had sent that letter, and the FBI did nothing about it. The person who received the letter, 2 days after his assassination, they burned the letter, and they flushed it down the toilet. So
I think they wanted Kennedy dead.
I think it totally worked for them.
Because
I don't think they were like, oh my God. I think they did not like Kennedy. You had the people, they totally didn't like Kennedy.
Because the FBI and the CIA hated Kennedy.
Yeah.
So maybe it was Oswald, but I think that by not helping, they helped him.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
If he was this lone nut, it's almost too clear that he would have killed him.
I think that there are also like, and we're going to do like more of an in-depth thing of this, but
I got to get my facts straight because Aaron's a better debater than I am. But if you guys could think of the thoughts that are in my head, you know that I actually have some good points. I'm just not well spoken.
No. You have some good points. I was also like not our formal session. We got to find a grassy knoll.
No.
No, it freaks you out.
I'm already looking out the window, like a little bit scared that Oswald is gonna come in here.
You died. He's dead. He's gone.
Yeah, he was shot by a mafia boss.
Jack Ruby. He was not a mob boss.
He was in the mob.
He owned a strip club.
Oh my God! It's like you don't believe anything. He was in the mob.
Do you want to hear a great? I'll have to send you.
So do you also think that Kennedy just didn't have any connections to the mob?
No, he definitely had connections to the mob. He conspired the mob to help kill Castro, and the FBI did too.
No, Kennedy wasn't involved in that, I don't think.
He knew about it.
Maybe. Maybe not. Just sexy
But that's the other
thoughts.
thing is, like, I think that conspiracy theories and theories of, like, assassinations, no matter, like, the FBI literally planned to give Castro deliver a cigar that would explode. They had conspired to give him, like, a wetsuit for, like, scuba diving that would, like, not work. That would, like, have poisonous gas.
My favorite one was that they were going to put chemical... They're going to put chemicals in his shoes
Oh,
so
yeah.
that he would lose his
His
hair
hair.
and his beard so that he would be unattractive and people wouldn't vote for him. That one got me good.
That's a good one. But
I think
people-
every assassination attempt should be like that.
like, people are so stupid, right? Like, that's insane. Like, that was a legitimate thing that was pursued.
What about Jimmy Hoffa?
What about Jimmy Hoffa?
He wanted the Kennedys dead.
A lot of people wanted the Kennedys.
I mean, he said it out loud.
There was a
several times.
I mean, there was a significant branch of. I mean, a lot of people hated the Kennedys. Jack Ruby, someone heard in, like, his strip club, Jack Ruby, saying,
You don't think he killed Oswald because he didn't want Oswald to talk?
I've heard. Okay, so there's another theory.
Or you just think he's a vigilante?
Not Jack Ruby, the fucking vigilante man. Okay, so there's that theory. I'm forgetting the
Donna's
woman's name.
face is looking a little like Jack Ruby right now.
How so?
I've never seen Jack
Like
Ruby.
a
in my life.
5'10", 175 pound man.
Is he
Is the height
Italian?
and weight of Jack Ruby? Fucking probably. I don't know.
Mob wife aesthetic is back, and your girl over here is so happy. I get so many like Colombian and Greek memes on my
Yeah.
like Latin and Greek,
What's been the best one so far?
and then sometimes I get
Let's press pause on
I
JFK.
get like
Just so, because I want us to have like an hour and a half full of like good shit for it.
I'm gonna need to do so much more research because you're literally taking me, throwing me on a table that's like wet and just
Is a wet table?
sliding me across like a little dummy.
What?
I was never good at speech and debate. Here's the thing about me, you guys.
Okay.
I like history because I like the juice. I like the tea. I like the stories. I like to know the facts. But I'm not great at history because I end up being mansplained to and thrown onto a wet table and slid across, and
What?
not in
There's
a
no wet table.
sexy way.
I don't know how we got to a wet table.
In-
That wasn't me, for the record.
oh, my period.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh my.
Anyway,
Anyhow,
okay, we can put a pause on Kennedy if you want.
well, just because I want us to find a good grassy knoll and hash this one out.
I can't do it on a grassy knoll, bro.
We'll do it Lee Harvey Oswald style.
You're probably not.
Loser.
Kills the other person.
Yeah.
Wait. You know what? You would want to do it on a grassy knoll because you wouldn't be scared.
Because I'd be safe.
But if we did it in a book depository,
We'd be fucked. No libraries for us.
fuck.
I mean, look, there are so many crazy circumstantial things that are insane. It is crazy. They were redoing the floors of the 6th floor. Suddenly, Oswald was able to like land a job and be in there in one of the only rooms where he'd be alone. Like it is crazy to think that he had no co-conspirators. I will give you that. There are a lot of sexy things.
But it's not just sex, Aaron.
It's all about
facts.
sex.
It's about facts too.
Look at Kennedy. Sex. He's sexy.
He is.
Yeah. It happened to be the sexiest president we've ever had. In the sexiest scandal in the history of America. Like, 9/11 had similar crazy stuff, but it wasn't sexy.
Okay, well,
9/11's not sexy.
no, 9/11 is really tragic.
It's just
I mean, so is
terrible.
Kennedy's death, but like,
It's kind of sexy.
it is kind of it's because when someone dies like that, when there's an assassination, when there's like a young death, like even Princess Diana, like that person lives in memory. Like, I don't think that people
And
look.
who knows what happened in that tunnel? I wasn't there.
I don't have conspiracies
It's
about
just
that.
Dodie.
I don't have conspiracies about that. Do you?
I think similarly, like, people were chill. I think the royal family was chill. The queen wanted her dead.
I think it was a thing of like they just didn't provide protection.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they wanted her dead.
I think so. I think she was causing issues
So you think that
in that.
Diana was as big as a threat to the royal family as Kennedy was to the CIA?
Yeah, well, I don't know if even Kenny was like a threat. He just like wouldn't let them do the shit that he wanted to do. He was just like he would just let his family do whatever they wanted. And you had like I don't know, you had so many stupid conspiracies on the right of them like being insanely like cautious. They just wanted to fuck over Kennedy. They hated that family. And they were like legitimately a hateable family. His dad was like such a prick. And JFK like wasn't the nicest guy.
No, he's a Nepo baby.
Like definition of Nepo.
Yeah. I don't know why Nepo babies hit a really soft spot in my heart.
Yeah, they do.
Like, not in a good way. Like,
Not in a good way. It upsets you.
It really upsets me.
It's pretty upsetting, honestly.
I don't know why, though.
I know why, because it's not like it's literally not deserved. Like you're in a position of.
Here's the thing. I do think it's deserved. I think
You think
that there are people, like, there are Nepo babies that are genuinely very talented, and I think, like,
I wouldn't say that they're more talented than other people though.
no, I wouldn't either.
So
but
they're given a position because of their.
yes, what I'm saying is I don't think it's undeserved. I think that it's looked at sometimes as having been just as hard. Like they're able to get to like a level of fame that would take so many years to achieve for someone who's not a Nepo baby. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I think living in LA now and like watching the way that casting works, watching the way that like even
literally whose kid are you?
But not even whose kid are you? It's like, who do you know? That's the truth. It's like, who do you know? Even if you're a nobody and you're putting yourself out there and you're good at socializing and networking, like you're going to get further ahead than someone who's just like putting themselves on tape and really works hard on their tape, you know? Like, I think I'm like starting to realize that. And for some reason, Nepo babies just like hit a nerve in me.
Yeah.
Like it just makes me, I don't know.
Oh, I totally agree.
I also think that, you know, I'm away from my family, so I'm like, if they had just been in LA, I know my dad would be the carpenter of someone famous.
He would have been Harrison Ford.
He would have been Harrison Ford.
There's the arc where your dad was literally an action star because he was a carpenter.
I could totally see that for him. He used to love to be in the Nutcracker.
There's literally not a doubt in my mind.
No.
That doesn't happen in an alternate reality.
I think my dad believes he's a Nepo baby. It's really odd.
What?
It's really odd.
He's a Nepo baby of what?
Produce? Even though he's not in that business anymore.
Okay, yeah. No.
But he like takes like offense when you like comment badly about Nepo babies.
When you talk shit on the Nepos.
Because he believes he's a Nepo baby.
Because he feels like he's being. First of all, we're talking about entertainment, baby.
Yeah.
We ain't talking about.
Well, I think it applies to every industry. I really do.
No, I obviously like it does. Even in the sense of like if your parent is a job and then you pursue that job, like they're gonna have insight of how you can do that, and how you can achieve that versus if you have to do it from square one yourself. It's obviously like a significant advantage. Yes. But in entertainment, when like everything is regurgitated by like, oh, like my friend is in this, I'm gonna hire my friend, I'm gonna fire my fucking son. Yeah. Like everyone in The Godfather is a Coppola.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, look, I look at it like this. Like, I would always... Please don't kiss my... I said no.
Why did you have to make that, like, really weird?
Can you stop squishing our pillow?
Sorry.
I don't even know what to say right now. I don't even know what to say. My tummy hurts.
Mine does too, but I want a cookie.
Me too.
And a shake.
Anyway, my dad does believe that he's a Nepo baby.
He's not.
He, like, has a little... Like, it's very odd. It's very odd. Mm. I think he believes that my papu was, like, this major business boss.
Right.
Of the sunset.
And he was a baby boss.
And that dad was a baby boss. And that...
Boss baby.
A lot of people looked at him as if his father had given him things.
Oh, yeah. He was looked at as being.
And so he feels that he identifies with the Nepo babies, which brings up a lot for me because I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I went into a career that is just so different from everything that my family does.
It's
and
different
stands
from
for.
what most people do and stand for, so that's like fair to say.
Yeah. Maybe I should have been a Nepo baby and got
Maybe I
into
should've-
produce. But at this point, my dad's been out of produce since he was my age.
Yeah, maybe I should have went to law school. Come on. Me and the law.
Ugh, he would be such a nasty lawyer.
Opposites. Nasty?
Yeah.
I would like not fill out any of the paperwork and be like,
We would never
sorry,
have dated if you were a lawyer.
I forgot.
I'm going to be honest with you.
But I do love
Any
a good deal.
job other than like figuring life out.
Do you want to watch Free Solo after this?
What's that?
Is that documentary I was telling you about?
No.
Why?
I don't want to watch a rock climbing documentary. I don't like rock climbing.
Can you please like try with me?
Do you want to watch a documentary on ballet?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I would love to watch. If you are like, Aaron, let's watch them together, I will cry and be like, of course, I love you. I want to watch something with you.
You're not that nice to me.
Yeah, I am.
Do you really think I'm a bad girlfriend?
No. I never put that out there.
But you do.
No, I don't.
Because we've been fighting this week.
We
Aaron and I got into a really big fight this week.
patched over. We're good now.
But let me just say that it ended with both of us at our separate gyms. And I think that explains our differences.
What? Oh, yeah.
Like, that's how the fight ended.
Right.
Like, Aaron was at the rock climbing gym. And I was at my gym, which is like
with the boys.
with the boys.
Okay. This one's done.
What do you mean?
we're wrapping up on this one.
Why?
Oh,
Okay.
we're at an hour.
Okay. Bye, bitches.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to. I just said we're wrapping
I don't
up.
know what to tell
I said we
you.
could do like 2 more minutes.
What do you
We didn't have
say?
to.
What
Like,
do you want me to do?
I don't know. You were gonna wrap it up. You were.
I was
felt.
just
I
saying-
felt like you were trying to.
I was just saying this has been a hard week for us.
This
you
has
guys.
been a hard
It's been a
week.
really hard week for
Look
us.
at the years, dude.
Aaron and I have had a rough patch in our relationship.
Not really. I think we've just been feeling cyclical these days.
Yeah, we have been. We've had a rough patch in our lives. Honestly, this relationship is the best thing in my life.
Yeah.
right
What are you talking about? This relationship is great. What we got going here.
Today, no, that was yesterday. I didn't leave the house today, except for
neither.
when I went to work.
I
But I don't
legitimately
remember that.
did not step
I-
out of the house today.
I don't remember even going to work today, and I just remembered I have to go to work tomorrow.
I remember 6 a.m. and you were crying. You were like, I don't want to leave. And then, do you remember I said, just come here? And then I held you, and then I don't remember what happened next.
And then I got up and went to work.
That's fair. Figured.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, if you know any good cookie spots in LA where you can get a nice fresh cookie delivered to your home, let me know. Something that doesn't make you feel like complete shit would be nice.
And how do we feel? Grassy knoll or book depository?
Yeah, leave your Kennedy.
Do you think he
thoughts
didn't fire
below.
a shot?
No.
You think he fired? You think he went pow-pow? We'll get to the bottom of this. We got to do more work.
Look.
We got to find.
No, the truth is, look, we're going to be divisive. I'm going to have to be the one to do the heavy lifting on every single theory because you're just going to be like,
I'll look into them with
the
you.
Warren Commission was right in the first place.
Okay,
It was a magic bullet. Yeah. Like, why don't you just report the communists yourself?
What?
Jesus Christ. Fucking Kazan over here. My boy. Anyway, Mark and Kazan, we out.
All right.
Fee fa fa fum, bitches.